Hello, I'm Andy Seedon from Combat Fusion Martial Arts. Well, thank you for joining us on this InfoPod video on techniques of the Kenpo Orange Belt syllabus. In this video, we'll be looking at the technique thrust and salute. We'll be looking at some of the concepts and principles we teach to our students at Combat Fusion Martial Arts. We're going to get straight into that video now, but as usual, first of all, we'll look at the technique itself without a partner from 3 different perspectives to give you an all-round view of the movements involved in this technique's mechanics.
Our opponent's line of attack runs directly through our own centre line. To avoid impact from his attack, we step off this line on a 45-degree angle. This puts us in a position that reverses the original situation by now our own line of attack running through our opponent's centre line. This is seeking the centre. A master key blocking method used frequently in Kenpo is called the double block. This is where the rear hand is used as a prefix to the initial or main blocking defense. This motion of the rear hand circling in prior to the lead arm is a safety. This safety is just there in case your opponent is quicker than you estimate or you are slower than you think. When using double blocking, ensure you maintain your posture and control the distance between yourself and your opponent correctly. Do not be tempted to try and make the prefix block contact the attacking weapon. If you do this, you will cause your posture to corrupt. This corruption is called jet lag. By overreaching with the prefix block, your head will move forward before it moves backwards when initiating the primary defense. This will place you in danger of being struck. After the double block has been applied, your lead arm rebounds from blocking on the inside of our opponent's leg on a semicircle curve to a positional check between yourself and your opponent. Now continue by executing a step-through front kick to the groin of your opponent. When executing this kick, do not kick at the groin, rather kick up into the groin. This will provide the most efficient impact to target ratio. Practice this kick on a heavy bag held between the legs of your partner. This will help you achieve a smooth whip-like technique. The principle here is the correct application of timing. Timing is more of a consideration than speed. As your opponent's body drops after kicking, your kick should strike up, borrowing his downward force. A good friend of mine called Mr. Dan Meck said your opponent should suddenly think, "Damn, am I wearing my cup?" From the impact to the groin, plant your kick forward as you execute a thrusting heel palm strike to your opponent's chin. This is where the technique gets its name from. This is the thrusting salute. Once again, borrow force as your opponent's head comes forward. It meets the upward thrusting heel palm, which torques through our opponent's chin, forcing his head up and backwards. When we combine the movements of the front kick with the thrusting heel palm, we are actioning all 3 of our major power principles. Marriage of gravity, working with backup mass, momentarily before combining torque, which continues to the finish. From this point, we will be studying the extension to thrusting salute. If you do not require this at your stage in training, you may wish to miss out the next section. From the thrusting heel palm to the chin, step into a front crossover as you deliver a vertical punch with your rear arm to your opponent's solar plexus, simultaneously with a horizontal heel palm strike across his midsection. Here we employ backup mass with marriage of gravity. Immediately pivot out of the front crossover into a neutral bow as you deliver an inward horizontal elbow with your lead arm to your opponent's upper ribs or chest, simultaneously having your lead forearm horizontally checking his upper body. Follow up with a downward diagonal heavy punch to your opponent's pubic bone or bladder as you pivot into a forward bow or high close kneel stance. Quickly convert this punch into an uppercut to your opponent's chin without altering your stance. This will set him up for the final strike of a lead hook punch to his mastoid or jaw as you pivot into a reverse high close kneel stance, ensuring you utilize this stance change to assist your front crossover cover out.
Hello and welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at a couple of variations. This first variation involves our partner following up with a reverse punch after the initial kick. Our defense involves us utilizing the path of action of the positional check to enable us to finish out the defense with the Kenpo technique, crossing talons. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the second variation. This involves a very unusual sweep with the lead leg to our opponent's kicking leg. The timing is important to sweep our opponent's leg just before it lands on the floor. This gives him a feeling of slipping on ice, and it alters his attention from us back to himself. He turns his attention inward to himself because he suddenly loses balance and is more concerned about his safety than his aggression towards us. We effectively become psychologically invisible to him. But this allows us the time to now continue with the technique thrust and salute and finish it out in the prescribed manner. Okay, so now I'm going to finish off by showing you two short clips of my partner Mark. Even though Mark knew the sweep was going to occur, on two occasions he was taken completely by surprise and lost his balance totally. Well, thank you very much for joining us on this info pod on the technique thrusting salute. I hope you find the information interesting and of use. If you haven't done so already, please think about subscribing to our channel and don't forget to give it a like and give the video a share. This is Andy Seaman of Combat Fusion Martial Arts saying goodbye.